You've got 5 seconds to subscribe and like the video, or Booger will hunt you in every game.
Oh, hello, Jeff Bezos. What's that? Oh, you came by to ask for a brand new Amazon gaming PC video? No problem at all. I can definitely make this video today.
Hey, what up guys, Arky here, back again with a brand new video. So for today's video, boys, as you could have told by the title and also the intro, I'm going to be making an Amazon PC build, but not just any build, it's going to be a budget build. So yeah, the price will be $400, so 400 bucks for 360 FPS. That's right, 360 FPS. You heard this right. Before you skip on, I want to tell you one really important thing. We do have to tweak the graphics card at the end of the video, so make sure to keep watching and I will show you just how to do that. It's really simple and easy enough, so yeah, let's get on with the video. Coming up, first we've got the GPU. I do want to say that the GPU is actually on the lower end for this build. So yeah, the processor is a 10th gen, the motherboard, RAM are all super good SSD, but the GPU is actually at only 1650. But nonetheless, we can overclock the GPU and run the game on lowest settings, and in Fortnite, I will show you how I'm getting 360 FPS easy. So if you are a Fortnite gamer, which you most probably are, because my channel is recommended to only Fortnite guys, you should want this GPU if you're on a budget. Just a little heads up, boys, the GPU does come back into stock on April 20th as it says right here, so just in 1.5 months away from now. You can find this GPU on other retail websites, but if you want to buy it from Amazon, then April 20th, that's your price. And also, you can actually switch the GPU over. So GPUs can actually be switched to any really, so you can buy any GPU at all. And that just gives you more freedom for your choice. And as you know, 160 bucks is the price for a GTX 1650 Super, and it's also overclocked, so that's really good. So this GPU is actually not super old, it's pretty brand new. It was released just, I think, maybe a year or two ago, so that's a really good deal. 160 bucks for 300 at least, and then even 360 FPS is a super good deal. The PC build that we are using with this GPU does not underclock the GPU, so this GPU will work to 100% of its potential really. So the processor is really good, RAM is super good as well, and that just means that the GPU will not be underclocked. Again, what this also means is that you can actually buy brand new GPUs instead of this one. So you can get any other GPU and it will be a perfect fit for our PC. You can even get a 3060 3070 Ti. Yep, the new RTX series. That's how good our processor and RAM and all of our components are. It's just that this GPU is the budget version, and that's really what drives the price down. So as you know, GPUs cost a lot and the PCs cost a lot as well. The GPU is the main selling point, and this GPU is enough for Fortnite on the lowest settings. If you are in the future hoping to play some brand new games like GTA 6 or whatever, maybe Battlefield 6, Call of Duty 5, who knows, this GPU will most likely not be enough. So that's why I'm giving you room and also a choice to actually upgrade your GPU and get a better one. But if you're only going to be playing Fortnite, then this GPU is perfectly fine. Lowest settings, 360 FPS, and also overclocking. And that's it for the GPU. I know it was a lengthy topic, but I did want to say a few things because the GPU is actually one of the most important things in a build. So yeah, a quick overlook, it has 4 GB, so that's enough for Fortnite, that's enough really for any game. Call of Duty Warzone, it will be enough for all of them games as well. As you know, it's a GTX, so that means RTX is not supported. So yeah, no RTX, but also if you are being competitive with like 360 FPS, you literally do not need RTX, so ray tracing in other words. And just as the picture suggests, boys, it's a very compact and small GPU. So yep, it's totally not big. It can fit into any case at all, even on a mini or a micro motherboard. So there we have the ports. We have 3 ports: DisplayPort, HDMI, and DVI. And as you know, you will most likely be using HDMI for your main monitor. If you are hoping to get a dual monitor setup, you can definitely do that because you have 3 ports. If you want even more than 3 monitors, which we don't have enough ports for, it's totally fine. You can actually get USB to DisplayPort adapters, and that means you will have as many monitors as USB ports on your computer. So the little USB sticks, you can just stick them in. On the other end, you will have a DisplayPort, stick it into the monitor, and that's it. Your monitor is working. But yeah, it's only, I think, 60 FPS maximum or 60 Hertz, so that's not really main gaming monitor material. But yeah, 4K 60 FPS, it's all okay. So if you want that, that's doable. Without further ado, here you go, the CPU, boys. It's an Intel i5 10th gen. I was actually in a very big struggle when choosing an i5 or an i7, both 10th gen. I did decide to actually save a few, maybe like 50 bucks, and get the i5 because the i5 is actually plenty enough for gaming, especially Fortnite. And this PC is still very high-end, so you can fit a 360, 370 Ti in it, and it will be flawless. The price is 120 bucks, which is only 30 bucks short from our actual GPU price. And as you know, the GPUs in this day and age cost like maybe 5 times more than the CPU. But not in this build, they're pretty close together again because the processor is actually super good. You can fit a 370 Ti in this bad boy and it will be running okay. So this processor is on an LGA 1200 socket. So that's the new socket, I believe. Maybe Ryzen has their own sockets that I don't know of, which are kind of newer even more than this. But this is the newest Intel socket, and that's the one I know. And it's actually really good. It will fit very nicely with our motherboard. So the motherboard that I chose is actually a really good gaming motherboard as well. For this i5, in terms of gaming performance, it's a really good buy. So the bang for buck performance, like price ratio, is really good for this processor. It's a 10th gen processor and it's an i5, so as you can guess, the benchmarks are flying and it's completely enough for any single game out right now and in the future. So the i5 has 6 cores and 12 threads. That's actually really important for gaming, especially games like Fortnite. The processor means a lot for FPS, and the fact that we have 12 threads is actually a really good thing. In Fortnite, when you turn on the lowest mode, as in the lowest graphics preset, and as you know, 12 threads is actually a very big number. So for the i5, that's a really good amount of threads, and core 6 cores is actually a really good number as well. And the DirectX 12 option in Fortnite uses both cores and threads, and the more you have, the better really. And this is a really good number for an i5, and that's a really good thing. That's why we will get 300 to 360 FPS when we overclock our GPU. And here we finally go, the motherboard itself, and as you can see, it's an MSI. As you know, MSI is a really good company, especially for gaming, so that's a really good brand. It is a Pro Wi-Fi version, so it even says so on the box, as you can see here, and that's really good. It's also a mini version, so mini ITX. What that basically means is it's a mini motherboard. It's smaller than regular motherboards. So you have 3 levels, so you have the big motherboards, medium motherboards, and small motherboards. This is a mini, so it's a small motherboard. That means everything is compact and small, as you can see here on yourself, even on the picture. So that's really good. It might not look as pretty, but believe me, boys, if you buy a glass case and it's a small, maybe a squarish type, very designer looking case, it will look very slick and very nice. When choosing a motherboard, it's really important you choose the right one, as in the socket type and also the generation of your processor. So in our case, we have a 10th gen processor on a 1200 LGA socket, and that's this motherboard. This motherboard does support this socket type, that's the easy part, but then you have to also Google on the internet and find information if this motherboard does support your gen processor. So 10th gen, I know, I've Googled this before, I know this motherboard, it does support 10th gen processors. So the i5 that we've chosen is actually super compatible. It does accept DDR4 RAM. For those of you that don't know, DDR3 and DDR4 RAM are the only 2 RAM options that we have. available for memory. So DDR3 and DDR4, for those of you who don't know, is RAM. So DDR4, that's the only RAM this card accepts. So DDR4 is newer, better, faster, and it's actually maybe even a little bit cheaper. But the DDR3 RAM, which was used a couple of decades, a few years ago really, it's slower, older, it costs more, and that's because no one really makes it anymore. So that's the old DDR3 RAM. But yeah, DDR4 RAM, that's the way that you want to go. Make sure that you won't be inserting your current RAM if you are upgrading. Maybe you want to switch a few parts from your old PC to your new PC. Make sure that you are not on DDR3 RAM at the moment, and you weren't hoping to maybe get like 32 gigs from your old PC to your brand new PC, this build that we have right here. And if you have DDR3 RAM, yep, that won't work. This is a DDR4 RAM only motherboard, only PC, so that's the RAM that we need. There is your M2 slot for your RAM, and also USB, LAN, Wi-Fi, and then your HDMI and DisplayPort adapters, of course. And there you go. It's actually really good. Here's what the back panel looks like. So you have the USBs, you have your monitors, and then you have your, again, USBs, whatever, Wi-Fi boosters, some good stuff. And that's really all you need in a PC. For those that don't know how small the micro ATX motherboards are, can you see this lid here? Underneath will be the processor, and I'm sure you've seen the processors many times before. So that's how the lid looks on a smaller motherboard. And as you know, the motherboard is pretty small when compared to like the lid sort of. So that's one way that you can look at it. One very important thing I do want to say is that this motherboard only supports 2 RAM slots. So as you can see, 1, 2, so 2 RAM slots. If you will be buying an 8GB stick and then also upgrading in the future, you will only be able to upgrade 1 stick in the future. So as you know, only 2 sticks. Most motherboards have 4 sticks in this gen, and that's really important. If you are going to be editing videos, making like pro Fortnite montages and stuff like that, you maybe want to buy a little bit more RAM than just 8 or 16 gigabytes, maybe 32 gigabytes, and just watch out that you don't get like 4 sticks because you only have 2 slots. So that's just a little heads up to let you guys know. So quickly, up next we have the RAM, and yes, it's an 8GB stick. I do recommend you get 8GB if you will be playing only Fortnite. If you will be like streaming, recording YouTube videos, all of that good stuff, then I do recommend you to get maybe like 16GB. But if you only will be playing Fortnite, 8GB is completely enough. And also, it's a HyperX Fury brand, so that means it's a gaming RAM, so it's definitely not like just regular RAM. So that's gaming RAM. It will be very good for gaming, and yes, the speed is 2666. It's not the fastest, you can get even faster, up to 3.7K, but it does cost a lot more. So 30 bucks for 8GB for gaming, super good RAM. It's a really good deal that you should definitely get. So yeah, get this RAM down in the description if you would like it. It also comes into stock on March 10th, so that's a date to watch out for. Again, I want to quickly emphasize that if you will be streaming or recording YouTube videos or editing anything at all, maybe like Fortnite montages, please get 16GB, so 2 sticks right here. If you won't be doing none of that, then I really don't see any reason at all for you to get more than 8GB. It's really not worth your money. Why do you need 16GB if you won't be doing none of that? If you'll be just playing video games like Warzone, Fortnite, Grand Theft Auto 5, that good stuff, then 8GB RAM, this stick is completely enough. But don't forget, boys, that we also have only 2 RAM slots on our motherboard. So if you will be getting like maybe an upgrade in the future, careful when you're getting maybe 32 gigs right here. As you can see, you get 4 sticks. That will not fit into our motherboard. So yeah, this is just something that you should watch out for the future and what you will be doing on your computer. So here you go, the RAM, and this is actually one of the last things that we will be getting for our build, apart from the case and also the power supply. But yes, the RAM, here you go. 240GB is really enough for a Windows 10 PC, and also a few games, a few programs like Discord, whatever you need really. 240 gigs will be enough for every single game in the world, but Call of Duty. So Warzone, as you know, it does weigh maybe like 100 gigabytes. That's a very, very big size for our SSD size. So yeah, just be careful on what SSD to get and what games you will be playing. 240 gigabytes is really enough for everything. I myself maybe have like a 254 gigabyte SSD, I believe. Maybe somewhere close to that, maybe even 240, who knows. But yeah, it's enough for me. I can run Fortnite, I can play every single other game. I do have an extra hard drive, so that means I have 1 terabyte HDD, so that's the lower, slower type of memory. But yeah, 240 gigs for a couple of games like Fortnite, etc. will be enough, but it will be barely enough if you will be running Warzone. So yes, if you will be playing Call of Duty with the multiplayer, campaign, zombies, and then the Warzone even, that will take a whole lot of memory. So careful on that. If you will be playing only Warzone, then that's good enough. It's like maybe 80 gigabytes, 100 gigabytes, but careful not to get the campaign, multiplayer, Warzone, every single, all of that installed. Even a second Call of Duty, Black Ops, Cold War, whatever, boys. You will not have enough memory for that. Just keep that in mind. But yeah, 240 gigs for Fortnite. It's a very speedy hard drive, very speedy SSD. Definitely get this one. It's super easy to install as well, and it's one of the older kinds. That's why it's so cheap. 20 bucks, I think it's on sale at the moment. That's the lowest I've ever saw it. You should definitely try and grab it because it is a really, really good price. And yeah, just as I was saying, the overclocking part, so this is what you are looking for. You are looking for Msi Afterburner. Please download it. Link will be in the description, or at least my video. I did make a video on how to overclock your GPU. So make sure to actually open up the next video from the description and check out how you can actually overclock your GPU to the complete, like, maximum. On this GPU, me and my friend did test it last night, I believe, and we did get 60 additional FPS. That's right, in Fortnite, in Creative, we've got from 300 FPS to 360 FPS on the lowest settings with that CPU and GPU combo. So that's a really, really good progress. Not a lot of GPUs actually get like that much FPS boost, but this GPU, for whatever reason, it got 60 additional FPS from just configuring the overclocks. And just very quickly, boys, it's not difficult at all. Just follow the video. All we do basically is just push these 3 sliders, and mind you, we cannot cook or burn or just like damage our GPU in any way. This program will never allow you to actually fry your GPU. That can only happen to processors, so CPUs. That's where you might have heard that, oh, I'm deliting my CPU, I fried my CPU overclock is unstable, all of that stuff, really. So that doesn't apply to GPUs, really. So GPUs are very, very safe to overclock, and everyone does it. Very quickly about the case and the power supply, those are the last 2 options that you need. I'd really just recommend you getting a case with the power supply built in. That's a really good combo that you can find in Walmart and just your nearby shops like Target. I don't know. The reason I don't want you to buy cases online is because they are actually overpriced a lot on the web. So any site like eBay or Amazon, they will be selling the cases like maybe 2 times more than their original price. And that's because the cases are just so big, so huge, they weigh a ton, and it's just a hustle to ship it, contain them, store them, etc. And yeah, really just get a case from your local PC store like Walmart or wherever, and that will do the job. Also, try to get a case which will have a power supply inside of it. We can get any power supply with at least 400 watts. 500 watts is really the best point. You don't go over 550 watts because that's just an overkill for this build. Even the 370 Ti does not need more than 600 watt power supply. So there do exist like 700, 750 watt PCUs. We do not need them. We do not need that much. We never did, and we never will. So 600 watts is actually the maximum that you can buy, and it's actually a really good price to what kind of ratio thing going on. So yeah, definitely get that 500 watt, 600 watt. That's a really good power supply that you can get with the case in your local store. And yeah, boys, again, I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please share it with your friends for those that need a good gaming PC or just a general understanding of like how to build PCs, how they're compatible, all of that good stuff. My channel is all about that and Fortnite related topics. So yeah, make sure to subscribe, share it with your friends, like the video, comment on any ideas that you want to see in the next video, and I'll see you boys in the next one. It's been me, Arky, and as always, peace. Hey guys, this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoy and find it useful. If you want to join my future Battle Pass and V-Box giveaways, do make sure to easily apply by subscribing and leaving a comment with your Fortnite username. I will be choosing 5 random people in the near future for weekly gifts. Peace.